Namo Aditafa. Thank you for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The second, mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by exploitation, social injustice, stealing, and oppression, I vow to cultivate loving kindness and learn ways to work for the well-being of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I will practice generosity by sharing my time, energy, and material resources with those who are in real need. I'm determined not to steal and not to possess anything that should belong to others. I will respect the property of others, but I will prevent others from profiting from human suffering or the suffering of other species on earth. For our Dharma lessons, we're reading Ajahn Munindo's book, Unexpected Freedom. Today we're beginning a chapter called Truly Comfortable with Dhammapada verse 290. It is wisdom that enables letting go of a lesser happiness in pursuit of a happiness which is greater. During my high school years, I received regular encouragement to enter the annual speech contest organized by the local Rotary Club. I think my parents' encouragement was partly to do with preparing me for my hopefully taking up the family tradition of becoming a Protestant preacher. Whatever the motivation, I benefited from the challenge. There were 2 years in which I recall doing quite well. In one, I spoke about a hero of mine at that time, Dr. Albert Schweitzer, and in the other, I spoke on the subject of whether religion should be comforting or challenging. I remain interested in both of those subjects, but on this occasion, I should like to take up the latter as the subject of my talk. Should religion be comforting or challenging? challenging? This concern warrants consideration, whatever stage in practice we may be at. What is it that we are looking for in our experience of religion? Are we looking for comfort? Are we looking for a consoling message? Or does our religion challenge us? And what do we think that it ought to be doing? My own commitment has been born of an enthusiastic interest in both of these things, in finding real comfort and skillful challenges. Finding comfort in the Dharma. How is the experience of religion comforting, or how should it be so? In the Buddhist scriptures, as well as in everyday experience, we find that the impulse to engage with the inner life, the spiritual life, is often prompted by suffering. This was as true in the time of the Buddha as it is these days. Dissatisfaction or unhappiness causes beings to look for something more than the happiness that comes with sensual gratification. We are told that if it wasn't pleasure that inspired the Buddha to take up the life of renunciation in pursuit of liberation, it was the despair that arose out of seeing old age, sickness, and death. Seeing these took the Buddha to be into a state of despondency, as he thought, are these things going to happen to me too? And then inspiration and hope arose when the Buddha-to-be, the Bodhisattva, saw a renunciant, a seeker, somebody engaged in a life concerned with seeking an alternative to pain and despair. It must be understood, however, that the reason the Bodhisattva was able to embark on the arduous and life-threatening task of uncovering the path to liberation was because he was ready to do so. In the records of the Buddha's own comments on his path of practice, we are told that he spent many lifetimes cultivating patience, loving kindness, renunciation, and many other virtues, so he would have the strength to take up this task. One of the things I take from such stories is the encouragement to cultivate the necessary strengths needed on the journey. Learning to be comfortable with ourselves is one aspect of cultivating strength. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Namo Adida Phat. Thank you so much for joining me today.